I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a volunteer to read the mission statement.
The Mount Horeb Area School District, in partnership with the community, is dedicated to nurturing, educating, and challenging our students, preparing and empowering them to be productive, responsible, and self-fulfilled members of society.
Thank you. Moving on to 2A, approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Kimberly, seconded by Leah. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 2B, approval of the October 7, 2019 regular and executive session minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Leah, seconded by Kimberly. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 3A, school news.
Yeah, so fall sports are wrapping up, a lot of them. But the academic competitive season is just starting, which is exciting. So Science Olympiad, FPS are starting their things. A whole bunch of leadership right now too. DECA just went to Emerging Leaders Conference over the weekend. A group of juniors on Wednesday, I think, is going to a conference about college preparedness, I believe, or the importance of college. Serve Tonight and Interact are really amping things up for the beginning of the year, so we're getting a new community service side of things. So everybody's getting organized and getting going. It's going really well. Student Council just invited the new members in too. They all got their acceptance letters today, so exciting stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, how fortunate we are to have Allie on our board. Allie was instrumental in helping us get some names of some students who might be interested in helping with the finance committee, the education committee, and I'm missing one more. Safety and wellness. One person you know pretty well, though, your sister, right? And so thank you for your leadership. You're absolutely exemplifying what we want out of a student leader on our board. So thank you. You know, this month, October, is the month for gifted education. And I thought I'd share with you this proclamation that's been given by our new State Department of Public Instruction superintendent. Her name is Carolyn Stanford Taylor. And it is in honor of Gifted Education Month. And one of the pieces that I think is most important from that proclamation is where it says, collaboration between school district staff, families, organizations, community members, nations, and students themselves serve as the critical foundation for supporting all high ability and high potential children and youth. And we know that firsthand with many of the great activities that happen in support of our highly talented and gifted students. I took some time to go on Amazon and buy a copy of a book called An Unquiet Mind. Have you heard about this book? It is going to be the book that's selected by the Mental Health and Wellness Community Coalition, right, for its book read. And thankfully we have Danny Michaels, who's helping lead the charge. Danny, would you want to speak to this at all? Or?
Well, I can't say a lot about it because we still need a date and a location.
Yeah.
The location I had planned fell through, and it sounds like the date is also not, that we'd originally selected is not perhaps going to be optimal because there are a lot of other things going on. So, so we're kind of back to the drawing board as far as that goes. But that is the book, and I have read it, although not recently, and it's very good.
Powerful. I think it's almost a quarter century old, but some of the things that are in here are really absolutely still pertinent and germane to what we do today and how we can help serve those who are going through episodes of bipolar, is the clinical term. You might have heard it called a manic depressive. And it's written not only by someone who's been a professor of psychiatry at very esteemed schools, but someone who suffered from that. And I think once you pick up the book and you start reading it, you might say to yourself, gosh, this was an easy read to have. I mean, it was really very nicely done. Thanks for suggesting that. And then you are so right. I mean, our students are just humming away. You think about our cross-country students heading to state, both boys and girls. Our soccer team, they have regional games this Halloween on Thursday night. And I want to congratulate our our volleyball ladies, a fantastic showing this season. Well, we kind of came to the end of the line on Saturday night. It was a valiant effort nonetheless. And then I wanted to extend a note of gratitude to all of our music students. On Friday, on a day off from school, it was Thursday, on an afternoon off from school, they took time from their busy schedules to go up to Wanakee, was it?
No, it was
Monona Terrace.
Monona Terrace. so
Monona
Madison.
Terrace, yes, for the Wisconsin Music Educators Association's conference. Mount Horeb students were showcased and performed several beautiful pieces, and thank you, Madam President, for sending me a video clip. I can't wait to put that up on Facebook. So lots to celebrate this time of year.
Other school news? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to 3B, citizens' comments. Thank you, Jackie. Citizens' comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to 4 personnel transactions, and just note that you have an addendum sitting in front of you as well.
Motion to approve,
Second.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Leah. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to consent agenda. Is there anything anybody would like to pull out?
motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Motion by Jeff, seconded by Damon. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 6, discussion items. 6A is our information and advocacy report on the number of students receiving professional certificates and number of students completing apprenticeships, work cooperatives, and work experience. We have
The mouthful, isn't
It is, I can barely say it. Mrs. Straka is here to talk to us about that.
Yeah. Last year, the board was provided an overview of what a work co-op is, what a work experience is, what youth apprenticeship is. So the report the longer report that you received, and the presentation itself will look pretty familiar. So I just want to point out a couple of changes that we've had in the past 12 months. The one piece with the CNA certificate. So as of now, the data that I had, by the 2019-2020 school year, we still have about 2 students who have received their CNA. But that number is a little deceiving because we have a number of students still going through the program this school year. So actually that number is going to go up a bit. So I'm meeting with Jody David this Friday to understand that number a little bit better. But she was throwing a number to me maybe about 9. So more to come on that number that I can put in our next board report as well as students finish up actually receiving their CNA. So that's that piece I wanted to point out, which is nice to see. I think youth apprenticeship helps drive that because as students want to go into the healthcare field, having the CNA is part of it. And as we see our youth apprenticeship grow, we're going to see that CNA number grow. Another new development is our fire recruit EMT academy. Last year at this time, we were having discussions with Eric Bridgman at the fire department and the team about starting our fire academy, which we had last spring. And we had 4 students undertake that program as a pilot. And then this past April, May-ish, we were talking with the fire department again at Madison College about the fire department offering an EMT program. So that's currently going on right now, which we have 9 students in. And as that was a later ask and later development than what we had planned and budgeted, the fire department partnered with us. We did a lot of fundraising to make sure we could get all 9 kids through the program, so that was a neat partnership. And because of that success in both of those programs, we're going to be continuing those programs, and the school district then will be fully budgeting those programs without the fire department support. That was just sort of startup pilot to get it going. So as you can see then, the fire academy for this spring will double. So that's a neat partnership that we have where students from about 7 to 9:30 or 10 in the morning, they are in the fire department every day going through the volunteer fire program. Then they attend the Madison Truex campus for some of the more hands-on things. But what's neat is that they do a lot of hands-on things at our new fire department facilities. I just wanted to provide just an outline again of what a work experience is versus a work cooperative versus youth apprenticeship. Because you may hear those terms thrown out as you hear about kids in our community doing these types of outside classroom experiences. And then I also want to provide you in the next slide the numbers as well. Looking at work experience. Last year I mentioned that the work experience program in general is declining in numbers because our youth apprenticeship program is increasing, and that's where those students are going as a much more targeted content, potentially career-based pathway for youth apprenticeship, where work experience was a student could go work in most places without being tied to a curricular or career pathway. So that's why you'll see those, the top row numbers declining, but we still have that, we do still have the work transitions program that Brian Johnson works with Marie McDonough Sutter on, where we have students in the community who are maybe in our 18 to 21 program for transitions that receive special education services, and those numbers for that bottom row signifies those students. So that's still going strong. Did I do that?
It's okay, I went to youth apprenticeships.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to provide again the youth apprenticeship cycle, how that looks, because it is a partnership with a local employer. They are hiring a student to be their employee, so just want to remind them more of the amount of hours, the students that typically enroll, and how that works just in that cycle of inquiry. Again, our numbers, they were increasing, and they still are, but they have plateaued a little bit to the low to mid-20s the past year or two. And we'll see how those numbers change as we move forward as well. Another slide?
Yep.
Wow. I must have missed my thank you Jody Baylor slide somewhere, or maybe that was a slide that was being goofy. So the slide was being goofy was just to point out that Jody Baylor is our new school to career coordinator after Penny Thompson resigned from the district. So if you don't know who Jody was, her face is on the slide. But you can look her up on our school website under the staff directory, upper right-hand corner. So. And we'll probably connect with Jody at some point in the board meeting, and she can introduce some pieces or some learning, or we'll get her here at some point. Maybe for our CTE, I think in February, we acknowledge CTE.
That's perfect, yes.
Yeah. Questions, wonders, concerns? Great to pass, as Dr. Stern would say.
The EMT and fire academies, are those separate, or are there any students who do both?
There are some, yep.
Okay.
Yep, so one's offered in the fall, one's offered in the spring. Yep. So fire is offered in the spring, so the students can learn, and then when it gets nice out, get outside and do. And EMT don't do that as much anymore. Yeah.
And do you provide the transportation to all of the things that they need to do outside of the district?
Yeah, so the students themselves will get themselves to and from the fire department.
Okay.
But we just had a group go to Madison College, the EMT crew go to Madison College last Wednesday. And we provide district transportation. They took a visit of some areas in Madison College, and then they went to the Louisiana County Dispatch Center as well. So yeah, we provide transportation.
Maybe this was on the slide. Is there a minimum age for participation?
Yeah, good question. I hope I don't flip it too. So for, let's see, I believe for the fire, you need to be 16 or older. And again, the other one, you need to be, yes, juniors and seniors, but one for sure you have to be 16
Okay.
or older due to the public. I don't know how to cover that now. But yes, there are. Juniors and seniors will open up too.
Thank you.
Do we have any additional fees for equipment or curriculum materials?
Yeah.
Site?
Yep, so there's a tuition fee. And then for safety, clothing, things like that, that's on the student. There are also certification test, and that's on the student as well in most cases. Textbooks are on us, but the fire department helped us out with the EMT pilot, and for the fire academy, it's under a grant right now until spring 2020, so those are paid for through the grant that Madison College has. And then once that grant expires, then we will pick that up.
Any questions? Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Great. All right, on to 6B, our third Friday update. We have Scott Young. Got some good news for us, I'm sure, on the third Friday update.
Yeah. So the document you have in front of you, yeah, looks like this. I certainly cannot take any credit other than I get to stand in front of you and talk about it. Tammy Bronick and Jackie Brager put a lot of effort into their Friday count, open enrollment. It is an immense amount of work, not only in this time of the year, but throughout the year with adjustments and changes and phone calls and so forth, so kudos to them. You'll see the table at the top is students attending, so what I would call a head count. The table at the bottom is sort of where my eyes are drawn to because it addresses our third Friday enrollment. Third Friday enrollment deals with resident students. And so while you'll see on the second table, in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a total of 2,456. That is not actually our third Friday count. It's our third Friday count if all the students were counted in whole. In other words, each person represents one. However, for the early childhood pre-K program, we count them at 50%. So we don't get credit for 4 on the revenue limit. And for the 4K column, 137, we only get 60% of those folks for revenue limit purposes. So it amounts to 82. So overall, for our revenue limit purposes, we get 2,387. And just as an FYI for folks that are on the finance committee, you'll know that we happily talked a week ago at our meeting about the fact that we're just a couple of students over or up on our 3-year average compared to the prior 3-year average. And so technically, we're actually increasing enrollment by revenue limit standards, which is a good thing from a funding perspective. Really just information, short of any questions. I know you've seen this table each and every year, but nevertheless, it's just a good way to compare actual students in our classes versus what it means on a third Friday count of resident students.
Any questions?
Question. Well, there's a lot of state level advocacy for moving the 60% number from 4K to 100%, and that's been coming up more and more, so maybe someday that will change for you.
It is interesting in general that we take fractions of kids. Because they're here and they're being served and so forth. Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the report. All right. Moving on to 6C, discussion of board training team superintendent's goals and process to use for the evaluation. And I have to apologize, I messed up and I didn't send out the survey until Saturday. So I know, Rod, you were talking about setting something up that we could respond to, but I'm not sure that you had a chance to do that either.
Oh.
So-
I didn't get that.
I didn't get a survey.
No.
So it wasn't just me.
Because I know you got it, and I know
I got
that
it.
Leah got it, but I'll check on that to see what happens. And I'll make sure to send that out.
It's in my spam.
Oh, here, see, that's, and because of the way it was worded, Leah said it was worded a little.
He said, yeah, the
had
title
no
was
idea it
"We
was in
Want
there.
Your Opinion," so So I instantly thought it was junk mail, and then I was like, wait, it says it's
Mine
from
went
Diana.
straight there, I didn't even see it.
There it is.
Would not have thought to look at it.
Yeah, I never
Found it.
I can't even find my spam
I
folder.
should look and see what else is
I
inside.
should have sent a different email, I think it's in there, check your spam, because I didn't really think it would go there. Nobody's done that in the past. When I
No.
sent emails from Survey Monkey.
Maybe because it's from iCloud, I don't know.
Yep.
Yep, I got it.
You got it too? Okay, so everybody has it, it's just in your spam, so we'll have to move that to next week to discuss the priorities, so everybody has a chance to fill it out, and then
I remember what
you
you,
remember.
I do now remember what you asked me to do, and I will have that done by next week. It was a process document.
Yes. Something along those lines.
Yes,
Whatever, okay.
yes, of course.
Okay, so you want to, we'll put that on next week, Steve, so that you can discuss that. Okay.
So is there anything else you need input from?
No, we just needed
We have to wait
the
till
survey,
that's-
and then Rod's gonna, and if you wouldn't mind, either giving it to Steve to send out on Friday, so that everybody can review and react and know what they're looking at, that would really be good.
Yeah, sure, because there might be some discussion about it too. That's just fine.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that. All right. Then moving on to action item 7, we have a review of the budget, levy, state aid, equalized value, and fund equity units. Adoption of revised budget 2019-2020 and certification of tax levy along with the designation of fund equity. So this is an action item.
All three of these would be roll call vote, I think that's okay. The first motion you'll see before you on the overhead projector, and this is with regard to the budget and some adjustments. Scott went over these with our finance committee. As you know, we do some transfer of funding every time about this year, about 2 to 3 times a year we do this. And sometimes we get more revenue than anticipated, certain expenses maybe just a little bit more. The first being out of our general fund, the second tier being out of our special education or Fund 27 fund, and then lastly our package and cooperative program funds.
I'll make the motion to approve the 2019-2020 revenue budget. First motion, do I have to read the whole thing?
Please.
I make a motion approving the 2019-2020 revenue budget totaling 34 million-ish, and expenditures totaling 37, see, this is why I shouldn't read numbers. An expenditure budget totaling 46 million, including all funds, the difference in revenues and expenditures, including items such as Fund 39 tax levy receipts, calendar year and expenditures, fiscal year, the Fund 49 receipts, referendum interest and expenditures, referendum projects, and Fund 50 capital improvements, equipment replacement.
Thank you.
I will second.
Now you read it.
Oh, gosh, you read it, so I don't have. So we have a motion by Leah, seconded by Kimberly, to approve the 2019-2020 revenue budget. Further discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Danny?
Yes.
Damon?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Leah?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Motion passes.
And board members, the second motion tonight, we ask for your consideration of helping us establish the budget for the year, inclusive of the tax levy, which then results in a mill rate. You may remember at our annual meeting back in August, the mill rate was projected to be at $9.56 per $1,000 of equalized value. We are pleased to tell you that once those projections came back from the state on October 15th, we learned state aid coupled with a very favorable increase in equalized value, almost to the tune of 7%, allowed us to reduce our mill rate projection. Now you'll see going down to $9.20 per $1,000 of equalized value, which is substantially less than what we had even prognosticated when we went out for referendum discussions. And it's about 25 cents per $1,000 of equalized value less than it would be last year at this time, the 18-19 school year. So we ask for your thoughtful consideration of this levy, please.
Do I need to read the informational?
Someone just needs to read it aloud for the record. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I move to approve the Mount Horeb Area School District levy in the amount of $13,954,066 in taxes against the property of said district to meet the approved budget for the 2019-2020 school year. Parentheses, this tax levy is $572,712 higher than the 2018-2019 tax levy, which totaled $13,381,354. This tax levy necessitates a mill rate of $9.20 per $1,000 of equalized value compared to a mill rate of $9.45 per $1,000 of equalized value for 2018-2019, in parentheses. Parentheses, information, at the annual meeting, the district projected a tax levy of $13,807,025 and a mill rate of $9.56 per $1,000 of equalized value, in parentheses.
Second.
Jeff already said
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Sorry, get the next one. So, motion by Damon to approve the levy, seconded by Jeff. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Danny? Yes. Damon?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Leah?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
And I'm also yes. Motion passes. And now we'll move on to number 3.
Thank you again, board members. The third item, which is customary around this time of year, is for us to respectfully ask for the board's permission to apply a dollar amount that would go into the general fund expenditure budget. And you can see the amount being $6,215,440.91. And this would help us offset any cash flow borrowing that we would need to do. I'm pleased to tell you we continue to be one of the fewer districts our size that does not need a cash flow borrow, and that's a result of some great stewardship of our board and their leadership around finance. So ask for your consideration there, please.
I move to apply the projected $6,215,440.91, being 22 79/100% of the general fund expenditure budget as unassigned fund balance to meet cash flow needs.
Second.
Motion by Damon to approve the general fund expenditure budget as assigned fund balance, seconded by Jeff. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Danny? Yes. Damon?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Leah?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
And I'm also yes. Motion passes.
So is that essentially a working capital reserve?
No, that is actually an accounting measure that strictly defines the financial strength of our district.
Oh, I got you.
So assets minus liabilities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, assets minus liabilities equals fund equity or fund balance. And
Okay.
and it's just recognizing that we have assets greater than liabilities,
Right.
enough to allow us to not have to short-term borrow.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, further questions, discussion? All right, we'll move on to 7B, policy first reading, district vision, mission, and goals, policy number 110.
Board members, this is something we know is in your heart as it's all over your document called strategic plan, and that's about making certain that we're caring for the needs of all students, each and every one of our kids, not just small pockets of kids. And in fact, in your learning and growth for strategic plan, you talk about making certain we're closing gaps in achievement for all students. And we noticed a mission in our board's mission plan, an omission in the mission. And that is the fact that the word all is not in there. And so in order to truly honor the work that has been done, and we wanted a document that accurately reflects that. We just asked for the one consideration to I think more than just send a message to everyone that we are thinking about all kids, but then to put it in our practice.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Danny, seconded by Leah. Further discussion? Hearing none, this is a first reading, so I will take a roll call vote. Danny? Yes. Damon?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Leah?
Yep.
Jeff?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
And I am also yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to 7C, consideration of additional furnishing requests brought to us by the Finance Committee.
Yes, thank you. And board members, we had talked with you when we first did our our furniture purchasing, that we wanted to leave some money in reserves. So that way, once we moved into the high school, we had some money left over in the event there were additional needs. And would you know if there are some additional needs? And so we're asking, as a result of our conversation with Finance Committee last week, for the administration's ability to purchase up to about $160,000 worth of additional furnishings for our school district, the vast majority of those to be held at the high school. These would include things like student desks, teacher desks. We found that our teachers don't have a large space to put some of their own personal belongings, and so we're looking for a credenza type desk that staff could have, as well as chairs. Stools that we had in the commons area were gobbled up in our science suites because they were so well received that we thought this would be an opportunity to do that. We had about $300,000 in our furnishing line item, and so we're asking to use just a slight bit more of that, about $160,000. Bulletin boards, who knew? We didn't think about bulletin boards. So we need bulletin boards, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Danny, seconded by Damon. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for that. We appreciate your continued support.
What's the word on the street from the kids about that? Furniture at the high school.
Everybody so far likes it. I actually, 8th hour, I have a standing desk, which is super nice. 8th hour, especially because it's pre-calculus and standing is important. But yeah, it's good. I think I only have one class that doesn't have new furniture. There's a ton of new stuff, and people seem to like it a lot. Nobody's broken a chair yet, so there's a plus. Yeah.
Mrs. Strock is so good at picking out furniture, she's opening up her own design store. Bless her heart.
Retiring.
Just in an hour.
Thank you for that.
Thanks. All right, moving on to D, consideration of construction management contract for supplemental capital work.
Yes, thank you again, board members, for your consideration of this. As you know, we have significant sums of dollars that have been left over as a result of savings and, quite frankly, great stewardship on the board's part from the referendum. And previously, you approved a large number of projects that could be done while also not borrowing a significant sum of money towards that third referendum loan. And so we need to coordinate that work, we need to bid that work, and we are looking to continue our partnership with Kramer Brothers per the contract that you see in the materials before you tonight. The items that we discussed previously are all found within that document, save one change, and that's one I referenced in my podcast to you. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you would be happy to offer.
So I know a lot of this is boilerplate, but has the district's lawyer taken a peek at this just to make sure that?
Yes. In fact, what I shared with him is really what our wishes and desires were, and he put them into legalese for us.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Leah, seconded by Jeff. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for that.
Okay, moving on to 8, citizen comments. items are listed. There are quite a few of them. If you have any more, please always feel free to send them to either Steve or myself, and we'll get them on the list and get them scheduled to be discussed. Moving on to 10, schedule of next meetings. Seems like whenever we come to this point, somebody says, is this meeting on this date at this time? So if you see errors, feel free to point them out. Where that meeting is all going to be held on that date at that time.
I think maybe a quick point to note is that finance, because the bulk of their heavy lifting is now finished up here for the season, they've elected to forego a meeting in November. And that's allowed us to kind of slot in our first personnel committee meeting on November 11th in lieu of finance. And then our second meeting of the year for community and legislative engagement would get underway at 6:30 p.m. 2 weeks from tonight.
Great. All right, moving on to 11, the closed session, contemplated closed session for section 19.85, Pren 1 and Pren, Pren E and Pren deliberating, or for deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whatever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Rod. Take roll call. Danny?
Yes.
Damon?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Leah?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
I'm also a yes. We'll take about 5 minutes.